So I went into this book not knowing anything about it. I had no idea what it was about. Honestly, I thought it was about vampires. Don't ask me why, but I did, and I wish it kind of was, because that would have been remotely scary. So I kind of feel like the book started off in a good place. We meet Noemi and her father, and we kind of get a gauge of who she is, what her life is about. She's a cool socialite, young lady. She's beautiful. She has a really great sense of style. She's doing her thing. So Noemi and her father get a letter from her cousin, who lives pretty far away with her new husband and his family in this big house. And the letter is really weird. You know, she's like, hey, I'm in this house. It's haunted. I can't leave. My husband is telling me I can't leave. I'm hearing voices. They're poisoning me. They're drugging me. Pretty much, help! Her cousin is like, I need help. So she's asking Noemi and her father to come help her. So my first issue with this whole situation that's going down is Noemi's father is like, your cousin needs help. She's a bit dramatic, but she needs help. And I think this is the job for a young woman like you. Are you kidding me, sir? Noemi's cousin is saying that she's being held hostage by her husband and his family there. And Noemi's father is telling her, yeah, you know, I'm not gonna come with you. None of us men are gonna come with you. We'll send you. You smooth over the relationship with her and her husband, make sure everything is good, and report back to me. That was my first issue, where I was just like, Noemi finds a way to make everyone else the first priority. She doesn't want to disappoint her father. She doesn't want to disappoint her cousin. She doesn't want to disrespect the people she's living with. She doesn't want to disrespect the people that her cousin is living with. Noemi kind of puts herself last, and that really doesn't play out well for her. So Noemi packs up her things. She goes to this town to find out what's going on with her cousin. She loves her cousin. They like grew up together, and they have a really strong bond and a connection. So she's going to help her cousin. She gets to this house, and immediately the vibes are just bad. So in the home is Noemi's cousin and her husband, his father, his aunt, and his cousin. And they have 3 servants. That's it. This is a mansion on a huge piece of land that used to be a silver mine and can accommodate hundreds of people, but this is the amount of people that are occupying this home. That right there would have already had me feeling like, what's going on here? The aunt, who is pretty much like the manager of the mansion, the manager of the home, the caretaker of the home, she is extremely rude as soon as she meets Noemi. She gives clear signal, I don't want you here, I don't like you, And she lays down all these rules about how she wants the house run and their traditions, and there shall be no exceptions. While Noemi is here, she's meeting the family. She's walking around the house. The house is filthy. There is mold everywhere. There are mushrooms growing all over the house. I can't explain how nasty this book was. Like, I can't explain how nasty this house is that she's staying in with her cousin, and I don't understand why that wasn't the first signal of, let me get my cousin out of here. She gets to the house and everything is filthy. The walls have mold, the floors have mold, the ceilings have mold, there's mold in the books. Everything is dirty and filthy and it's nasty. More so, there are mushrooms, fungus growing everywhere. Somehow Noemi overlooks that and moves on and just comes into this home, puts her things down, and she's trying to get settled in to figure out what's going on. Her cousin is being drugged by the family. They are keeping her sedated. She sleeps most of the time, and when she is awake and aware that her cousin is there, she tries in some ways to say, hey, we have to figure out what's going on. But the family is very close watching on Noemi, and they're just like, we're not giving you an opportunity to save your cousin. We spend at least 75% of the book in the space of Noemi interacting with the family. There is very little horror going on. There are a lot of trigger warnings. There are many rape attempts by the men of this house against the women of the house. So not only does Noemi have to deal with her cousin's husband trying to sexually abuse her, she also has to deal with a sexual attack from his father as well. There's a lot of detail of what this house looks like, what their history is. This is a European family that moved all the way from Europe to Mexico, and they are extremely racist. They are all about white supremacy. They even say that they are superior to the other people and the other races that live in this land. So we already get that narrative that these people are ruthless, they're crazy, they're rude, racist, all things that encompass what bad people are. That's what these people are in this book. Fine. But it took so long for us to get to what was actually scary that when the scariness happened, I was already tired. So the bottom line to the entire story is a European man comes upon these indigenous people who are inside a cave, and these people have found a mushroom fungus that is magic. It pretty much heals them. The components of this fungus pretty much helps them live their lives. It heals them. It has these magical powers that pretty much helps them with their everyday lives. So this European man, Mr. Doyle, wiggles his way into this indigenous community and he steals their magic. He takes the fungus for himself. He traps them in the cave and burns them all alive. So now Mr. Doyle takes this fungus and he pretty much uses it to live as long as he possibly can. And the fungus has these magical properties that helps his consciousness transfer to another person in his family. So essentially, the fungus works really well with a specific bloodline or a specific blood type. So after Doyle takes this magic and he kills all these people, he goes and he buys a home, he buys this land, and he has all of this this luck. He has this silver mine. These people come, they work for him. Unfortunately, everyone keeps getting sick because there's fungus everywhere. The house is laced with the fungus. There is a cemetery laced with the fungus. The basement, attic, everywhere you look, there's fungus. My issue is that Noemi spent so much time at this house not even thinking, it's nasty in here. There's spores everywhere. I'm probably breathing in craziness, getting sick. My cousin has been here for this long. Maybe she's delirious and hallucinating because of the spores, because duh. So Noemi starts having these crazy dreams. She's having these visions. She's hallucinating. The house is talking to her. There are ghosts, but it's not scary. It's all very confusing and not interesting at the same time. And I hate to say that because the writing is very, very good. Sylvia does an amazing job at writing. I love the way that I love her style of writing, the engagement. I love her description, the world building. I love everything about the writing. However, the story just wasn't really moving for me. I didn't understand why this girl would stay at this home for so long after being threatened by the family, after being attacked by the family, after realizing that she can't get her cousin out of this house. Why hasn't she tried to go back home, get her family, bring them here, rescue her cousin? She spends so much time at this house that it really doesn't make any sense to me that I don't get it. So after spending all this time at the home and the family is letting her know no one ever leaves this mansion, and she does have the opportunity to leave, they even try to kick her out, but she doesn't leave. After she spends all this time there, ultimately one of the family cousins has taken a liking to her, and he's not controlled by the fungus as strongly as the rest of the family. So now he has this connection with Noemi and he's helping her. It never got scary for me, but I would have enjoyed it as a regular book, you know, something that I'm reading, something that I'm gauging. However, it was about mushrooms. Hate that. I hate that. If another book comes out about fungus, don't send it to me. Don't even tell me about it. Please leave me out of it because I hate mushrooms. So that's kind of my review of Mexican Gothic. I didn't like it. If you're looking for a book that is all about a rude, racist family living in Mexico with mushrooms and mold growing everywhere, trapping indigenous people and killing them, this is the book for you. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoy my content, I am super new to the move of YouTube and video making, so it would really help if you hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. That will help me out with this algorithm. More people will see my content and they will be able to enjoy it like you enjoy it. See you next time.